Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I am going to go over a question that Grim Beats had posted in the comment section of another video that I had, and he had asked, what should we expect for the 30th anniversary? So I want to give a little history lesson, just a quick one. I'm not an expert on it, but let's talk about what Pokemon has done in the past. So the very first anniversary, I guess you could say, based off of like 5, 10, 15, it's going to be the 5th anniversary. The 5th anniversary come out in 2001, and while there was nothing specifically ever stated that they released for that year, we did get our first specialty set. So if you look right here, we have the Southern Islands binder, and this was released in the fall of 2001. And so within this specific binder right here, like I said, it was a specialty set. It was released between Neo Discovery and Neo Revelation, if I remember correctly. And inside of it, you actually have quite a few items. So this is going to be the main bulk of the price. You're going to have this sealed brick of 18 promos. The only place you can get these Southern Island promos on the English side is in this binder. Now you get all 18 cards. Each one features a unique artwork that you don't see on other English Pokemon cards. There is a separate release on the Japanese side, but a lot of these cards actually connect together, which is kind of cool. And inside of the binder itself, well, you have the binder, which a lot of people like, but there's other items that you can find. You can see how it's got like these postcards, but the set itself has these connecting artworks. So if you look right here, you got Pidgeotto's wing and you have Mew's foot right there. And then you scroll over, you can kind of see where the other side of the wing touches in on the Onyx, and you can see the Onyx. So it was a really well done set. There are a few holographics. You got the Mew and Togepi. These are your two chases, especially in graded 10 condition, because they are so hard to get without having like those scratches on them, and they are worth several $1,000s. And the other holos, Ladybug, and then you've got here, I'll show you the other ones. We've got Meryl, Slowking, and Vileplume. There's 5 out of the 18 cards that are holo. Those are pretty tough to get in 10s as well, but the Togepi and the Mew are by far the most expensive. But yeah, you can see how all of the cards connect here. On the Japanese side, they actually released them similar to what you see here on the left side of the binder. They come with a postcard, and you'll have these 3 cards that would be within that set. You've got Jungle, Beach, Sea, and then the other side was, well, I don't think we can see it. It's probably on the back side of the, yeah, we've got Sky, which this is the one that's the most expensive because it has the Mew. Then you have Riverside and the Field of Flowers. I believe it was like Jungle and something else. So they were released in 2 sets of 3 in their own like 3. It was like a binder type deal. So there was a set of 9 and a set of 9. But it was not a 5th anniversary type release. However, it was released that year, and it was our first specialty set. Now you could say that there were other things that happened during the 5th year that were really cool for Pokemon. You had Neo Revelation, which come out later on in the year, and it had the very first shining Pokemon. So that was something that a lot of people got excited about, especially coming off of Neo Genesis and Neo Discovery. Those were the first 2 sets of Generation 2, and then you go into Neo Rev, and then you eventually at the very beginning of 2002, you have the shining Pokemon like the Charizard and the other ones with the different texture on them. But those were in the manufacturing process during 2001, during the 5th anniversary year. All right, so outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot going on for the 5th anniversary. So we'll move to the 10th anniversary. And there were a few special cards that were put out and a few events that were done. Like this specifically was done with the 10th anniversary logo. You can see right there where it's got 10th and it's got this Pikachu on it. And so this was with the Space Center release, and this wasn't the only thing that was released that year. But again, the 10th anniversary, this was the first time that Pokemon was putting out specific things that were directly related to the original release, which we are basing it off of 1996 in Japan. So this was a 2006 year release. Next up, there was a watch and a few other things that were kind of cool that were pushed out. I wasn't even aware of the watch. I'm getting this information off of Bulbapedia. If you guys ever want to find a plethora of information, go to Bulbapedia and you can find just about whatever you want there. Now, I did read this. I had no idea what was going on here, but I'm going to read it to you. Pokemon Top 10 Collector Cards was a planned set of Pokemon-themed trading cards by Topps in commemoration of the Pokemon 10th anniversary in 2006. A promotional pamphlet indicates that there was intended to make each of these cards into a top 10 theme, including categories for favorite Pokemon, cutest Pokemon, types of chase cards, or legendary, spookiest, strongest, strangest, and so forth. But it says some of the Pokemon cards included on the cards, as evidence from the pamphlet, was to include Mewtwo, Sceptile, Nosepass, Pikachu, and so forth. But the keywords here was to include and was a planned set. This was something that was not released, so unfortunately we never saw this set. It's kind of like the Jamboree and Legendary Collection 2. These were planned sets, but we don't have really any idea of what the cards would have been. So it's unfortunate that we do not have that information. Now, there is another card that was released. I don't know why this wasn't put in there with the 10th anniversary stuff on Bulbapedia, but I do know of this card because I've sold a lot of them in the past, but it's the 10th anniversary Pikachu. It's the number 12 promo. You might recognize this artwork from the very first 10 that was put out in 2000, or it was almost like a lunchbox 10, but in 2003 you had, it was like 5 EX era packs, maybe something else, some other type of packs in there, but there was a Pikachu and a Meowth number 12 and number 13 holo Cosmos foil promo that was put out through Nintendo. But this right here is actually a non-holo version of that same card, and it's got the 10th anniversary logo on it. So this was something that was also done, and probably the most recognizable promo from the 10th anniversary. All right, moving on to the 15th anniversary. Again, there wasn't a ton of stuff that was pushed out. There was a lot for games and activities and things, but I'm trying to cover mostly the trading card side of stuff. So on the Japanese side, that's where we actually saw the 15th anniversary items come out. So this would have been 2011, a pretty dead time for Pokemon. But Japan did have a nice box. You can see that one right here, and it come out with this silver looking Pikachu, very expensive card now. And then there's also the Reshiram and the Zekrom that actually say 15th anniversary in gold stamped lettering on the cards, and those are quite expensive as well. Now we're moving on to the 20th anniversary. So we have Toys R Us released a Magikarp and a Pikachu promo. We're definitely going to talk about the bigger things here in a minute, but there were promos that were released. There was a General Mills set that was released starting on Pokemon Day, and the big thing that everyone remembers, in fact, it was one of my favorite sets. I had a lot of fun with it. We even opened up a red blue Charizard collection right here recently on the channel, but the Generation set, you could only get this specialty set through the red blue collections or the mythical collections or the elite trainer, and I believe that was it. Those were the only products that were released, but they spaced it out over the entire year for the mythical collections. In fact, we see some of those up on the shelf behind me there. Those come with 2 generation packs. The red blue come with 4 apiece, and then you had the Generations Elite Trainer, which I want to say had, it may have been 10 packs. It was 8 or 10 packs, and it also come with, I believe, a Shaman EX promo, if I'm remembering correctly. But now these are some of the most sought after items for the 20th anniversary because they come with these full art. You got a Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, and then there was a 4th one with the Pikachu. And the promos themselves are really great. You get the 4 packs, and then as long as it was on the U.S. side, you would get a figure with it. And if it was released outside the U.S., typically they had a jumbo, and those jumbos are really tough to grade too. But very expensive. You can see they're up at $1,000 or so just for that Blastoise box right there. The bids are at $970, but you can buy one for $1,000. So I mean, it seems to be a pretty liquid price right about now. Looking at that $1,000 price point, when you see the bids very close to the exact lowest buy now price. Now, the set itself was great. Here's some of those mythical collection boxes. Mew was the very first one to come out, and it had a beautiful artwork on it, but you can see here lots of other mythical collection boxes, and these were very, very cheap. Not right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, it was a great set, but because they released like once a month and it was like slow rolled out, you could have access to this stuff, and there was reprints throughout the year as well. So you could buy this stuff for more than a year after everything was completely done with the 20th anniversary. However, that was not the end of the 20th anniversary. There was also the Evolutions set that was released that had reprints of cards like Charizard. And that card is very hard to grade at PSA, and the price on it, I believe now is $1,500 or so. It may be a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I know those prices have been very volatile, but this set, I mean, it was super hot right out of the gate. Had Mega Charizard, Mega Blastoise, Mega Venusaur. Many of the cards that were reprinted did have updates to their HP or to their attack, even their type. Like Nidoking originally was a grass-type Pokemon. When it was reprinted, it was Psychic, which was kind of strange. But there were other Pokemon like that, like Clefairy and some others. but very popular set. But again, it got overprinted and was printed for so long. This set actually went down. I mean, you couldn't sell the boxes at $75, but now you can see Pokemon Evolution boxes are selling at $1,400. Now I'm going to be pulling in Prismatic in here. There was a $1,500 best offer, $1,600, almost $1,600 again, $1,650, $1,625. So this box is definitely selling really well now, probably because of the cusp of the 30th anniversary coming on very soon. All right, now we move on to the first partner packs. So this was a part of the 25th anniversary. The 25th anniversary had a similar type release where they released something just about every month or so, where they put out the original partners, like the original starters. So if you go back to the very first starters, we've got Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and they would be released as jumbos that you could put into a jumbo binder that was released a little bit before that with the Pikachu jumbo, and you would also get 2 packs inside of it. And so these were pretty cool, but they got old really quickly and they sat around for the longest time, especially when you start getting back in here. A lot of these, they're just very common. The ones that had the better packs in them, those are pretty much long gone, but you can still find some of these for a very cheap price. Also in 2021, we had the release on Pokemon Day of a McDonald's set. So this McDonald's set, I think I said General Mills with the 2016, with the 20th anniversary. That's not correct. It was with this set right here that we both had a McDonald's and a General Mills set that was released on Pokemon Day, and people went crazy over these things. They were going to McDonald's, buying out entire cases. It was kind of a nutty time to be around. Now, Celebrations was the big set that was released. This is what everybody kind of remembers. Celebrations was a celebration of many of the cards that we knew, but this time there was a Celebration set which had newish stuff on it. There was some cards that were that gave a nod to the original sets. We'll look at those. But then there was also a classic card collection set, which was a subset that reprinted many of the original cards. So if you go to Pokelector, they've got a really cool archive of everything. You can kind of check mark cards that you have. But if you look at this, all of these are kind of the same, but like Pikachu, this was in the regular set. This is a reimagined artwork, full art version of the original base set. So you can see the Pikachu there. It's got the attacks and stuff, but it's got this grass down here. It's not just this plain Jane yellow that we typically see on the base set. And then there's some other cool cards. You got Flying Pikachu, Surfing Pikachu, you got the Surfing Pikachu VMAX, but these are like the reprints that we saw, the non-full arts anyways, from the promos. I believe Flying Pikachu might have been number 25 in the original Wizard of the Coast Black Star promos. Surfing Pikachu may have been 27, 28 maybe. I think Bumblebee Pikachu was 27, Snap was 26, and then you have Birthday Pikachu, which was number 24. Then coming down here, same thing, you got Professor's Oak. He's kind of like drawing off the card. It was really cool. But then they also put in there some new cards like the Gold Mew, so people were chasing that. Now, what everybody was really excited about was the Classic Collection. So Celebrations had like a printing of the Charizard. This is original base right here. However, the one that we're looking at is actually the Celebrations version, and you can see right there it's got the 25th anniversary Pikachu on it. It still has the same card number, and really what was different about this, the surface had like a texture to it, and then there were other cards that were slightly different as well, like based off of their rarity. So going back over here, you see you got Venusaur, Blastoise, Imposter, Professor Oak. Some of these cards were iconic for reasons of like maybe they were big in the original gameplay. Like Cliffa is a card that I believe was played a lot in decks. The Eek, shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 7 cards, and some baby Pokemon. I think you have to like flip a coin to be able to have an attack go through. You've got Umbreon Gold Star right here. This is one of the most expensive Gold Stars ever printed, and it's one of 2 only non-hollow Gold Stars that you can have. You had the Umbreon, you had the Espeon that you could get both from Pop Series 5. You've got Birthday Pikachu, Shining Magikarp, which was technically the, I want to say it was the second Shining, because Shining Gyarados was 65. Shining Magikarp was number 66 within the set. But everybody knows Magikarp evolves into Shining Gyarados, so maybe that's why they stuck that one in here. Mew EX, very playable. It was in several of the World Championship decks, and then even in some reprints later on, it made it playable again with this versatile Pokebody. But still, great selection of cards. People love this set. There's that Birthday Pikachu number 24. You got Reshiram, Zekrom from Black and White. Maybe that was a nod to the 25th or to the 15th anniversary. But like Luxray, that was in multiple years worth of World Championship decks. Same thing with this Claydol. That was in a deck. I believe Gardevoir was as well. And then Tapu Lele. I mean, this card dominated format for the longest time with its Wonder Tag ability. So a lot of it connected to different areas of Pokemon. And this set is loved by almost anybody who wanted to buy into the set, open the packs, have fun, especially reliving some moments. Now, so what are we going to do about the 30th anniversary? What is Pokemon doing? So I would say this. First off, maybe bookmark this, but check the press releases on Pokemon Center, because well, not even Pokemon Center, Pokemon.com, because they're going to announce the stuff here most likely first before anywhere else. They may put out trailers, may put out different things. But if you're looking for my prediction, one, this is for the trading card game, I'm definitely predicting a specialty set. For sure, they're going to have a specialty set dedicated to the 30th anniversary. None of this has been announced by anything that, as far as I know of. But if they don't have a specialty set for the 30th anniversary, I would be shocked, especially since how successful, especially since we've seen so much success with both the 20th and 25th anniversary, and it seems to be getting bigger every 5 years now. Also, I would expect to see specific events that they're going to hold for the trade, not only for the trading card game, but like the video game where you can catch something specific, like some type of card, or for the Switch, or anything that Pokemon is involved in. They're probably going to have some way of connecting to fans or collectors or people who are involved with that section of the Pokemon hobby. Outside of that, I would love to see some specific specialty sets released with fast food chains, like a McDonald's set. That wouldn't surprise me again. I mean, last time they did it with McDonald's, but they also did it with General Mills, and even that set has garnered some extra attention and increases in price. Now, those packs from 2021, those packs are worth more than the cereal box itself. Now, I don't think it was very successful because they did have a lot of extra that they couldn't just sell through. So maybe that doesn't happen on a bigger scale, or maybe they pivot to something else. But I do expect it to be more than just a quick release. I bet they're going to have things that are released throughout the year, and I would expect Pokemon not only to do what we've seen in the past, but do more and to get bigger with it, especially with the crazy demand that we've seen and how everything seems to be selling out right now. I think they would be leaving just a big turkey right on the table and letting it go to waste if they do not capitalize on the fact that we've got a 30th anniversary coming up for Pokemon. People want to celebrate it, and every time in the past that they have, all of the releases that have come along with those dates have been a hit. Now, maybe you can argue the 10th anniversary or 15th anniversary wasn't big, or that they're not sought after, but I would say that even now, people are so excited about the potential of 30th anniversary items coming out that we're seeing price increases on things like the Celebrations ETBs, when I say ETB, Elite Trainer boxes. You've seen prices go up. Anything related to Generations has really spiked quite a bit. So I think people are preparing. They're like, hey, if you want to get this stuff, you might want to get it now before the 30th anniversary gets here, and then we see an even further increase. Now, whether or not any of this comes to happen, don't base it off of my opinion, because I am not Pokemon. I have no influence over them, but I can guarantee that they're going to have something that comes out, and they're probably in the works right now getting it all figured out, because it takes a long time to get this stuff printed. So they may even have some of these things already printed and in production, but hopefully, I'm hoping that nothing really gets leaked. It would be great if we could get this stuff and it comes out like right around the date, and then we're all surprised instead of it coming out months and months ahead of time because it's been stolen or leaked or something like that. But the best place to figure it out, to me, is go check out Pokemon.com. They're probably going to release stuff there. You can see this press release was actually done on 2/20/25. So this was 7 days, 1 week before Pokemon Day. If you don't know, Pokemon Day is February 27th. That's when I believe Pokemon was officially created back in 1990. I guess it was 1996. I mean, I'm not too sure how that date works out. But if that's Pokemon Day itself. That's the best place, and that's really all I have on the 30th anniversary and going through the history of the previous anniversary items that have come out, or at least around the dates, because like I said, the 5th anniversary really wasn't anything that was announced, but I'm going to say it was special because of the Southern Islands specialty set, as well as the Shinings coming out that year. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.